sportschatplace.com and pickdogs.com. I'm here with my co-host, Tony T, for our new 6 o'clock show. I'm going to call this one The Drive-Thru, and you'll see why in just a few moments. We're going to have some of the top handicappers in the world just driving on through and joining us, giving out some free picks, telling us about what they think of tonight's card. Tony, we've been doing shows together. Normally, you've kind of been in my seat, and we kind of go back and forth, but it's kind of like we're both co-hosting here, and it's kind of, I'm really excited about this new show and the new format. We tried it last night just to kind of kick the tires a little bit, but I think tonight, it's just going to get tighter and tighter and better as the days goes on. But welcome, and how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I know I was happy with that Houston result, by the way. I didn't want to jinx anybody in there, but that's how it goes. You know, I wasn't successful with the first game, but I got to tell you something, Mitch. So much for those teams down 0-1. So far, we got today, both the teams that needed to win lose. It's now 0-2 in both that Houston and the Miami series.
Yeah, they really needed to win because I had both of them. Everyone knows when the favorites are coming in, I'm not winning, and I'm not winning. I'm usually not happy. So, we'll get them. We'll get them another time, and we usually do. Usually, every dog has its day, and usually it just takes one good day of dogs to wipe out 3 or 4 days of favorite winnings. That's all it takes.
Absolutely, and I want to mention about this format. I'm very excited about it because we bring in a lot of the handicappers from the pick dogs, and some nights we'll have 5, some will have 8, and as we grow and we get more of the cappers on, it'll be wall-to-wall picks from our top cappers from Pick Dogs, Mitch. I like the format. It's fast-paced and a lot of movement, just like at a McDonald's drive-thru. It never stops.
Exactly, and we're going to get a lot of different people's opinion, but the whole thing is that we're going to remain constant. I'm going to be here, the same person that you guys know, tough to get rid of me, and then, Tony will be here as well. We're going to have Joe D'Amico, the third wheel in the booth, probably 3 days a week, and then the other 2 days, it'll just be Tony, myself, and all of our guests. So really excited about it and excited to hear some more picks. You guys have heard my picks all day long, and, so some days are better than others, but we'll have some of the guys that you're familiar with, the Puck Dogs, Brian Bittler, and then we'll have some other guys you probably have never heard from or, may have heard from. I'm not sure. I know they've been on other shows, but I also know less than half a dozen people watch those. So pretty tough to get acquainted with someone when you can't see them, but you'll get to see what they are, hear the way that they go through things. Everyone has their own process. Everyone has their own way of doing things. Everyone has their own sense of humor, and we're going to find out all about these guys. And, I know them all personally. So I just feel like it's important, that since you guys know me so well, to introduce you to them.
Absolutely. And, of course, we'll have our first pick coming up today, Mitch. I know we got Brian Bittler. You hear him in the morning show, but we've got him here for the afternoon for our prime time. And I know he's looking at an NBA game. Absolutely.
We could bring Brian in to the show. Let me see if I can see him. There he is. And Brian, welcome to the show. I saw you this morning, and we had a really good show. But both you and I are dog players, and 2 favorites here in the NBA so far.
This morning I was a happy camper, ready to kick some ass, quite frankly. But you know what? I really got hit hard with that Pacers game. But I'm ready with the Major League Baseball play. I'm going to get it back later. Getting to the top of the leaderboard, you don't rest on your laurels or hide under a rock. You come right back with another play.
I'm with you all the way. It's like I lost both those basketball games today. I'm still here. I still show up. I still have 4 plays in action today. I got 3 Major League Baseball and 1 more NBA. So I'm not worried about it. And of course, I've had winning days. I've had losing days. I had a monster day yesterday, and I've had days where I started the day, 0-2 and ended up 4-2. And I pick enough dogs that it's like going 5-2 or 6-2, right? So it's.
I'll tell you what, when you lose, it makes the wins even that much sweeter, and the wins are going to come.
Yeah, I like winning better. I'll just tell you that much. Tony, you and Brian obviously know each other, so I'll kind of maybe step out of the way and let you guys kind of do what you do, and you can bring Brian through the show.
All right, Brian, welcome here to our drive-thru. I know you've got a game from Major League Baseball I want to take a look at. And, of course, we got 8 games on the primetime card. I know you have a play up at Pick Dogs, but I know you got one here for the viewers and listeners to our show.
My one for sale is my MLB executive info play, $29.95, pickdogs.com premium pick section.
Absolutely, and of course you're near the top of the leaderboards. We see quite a bit. But what do you got for the viewers and listeners for tonight
My
on our
free pick, take it to the bank, guys. Los Angeles Lakers -6.5. They're going to come. They're going to kick the Blazers. They're going to beat them down bad. No doubt about it. -6.5 is going to cash tonight.
So you're going to go ahead and say the Lakers in a situation where they want to avoid that 0-2 series hole. And there's a lot of talk here about the Lakers. They can't hit a three. Of course, Avery Bradley opted out. What you make here from the Lakers? You think this loss kind of may wake them up, and we may just see them run 4 in a row here? Or do you think this is going to be a long series?
I mean, truth be told, I have taken some losses on the Lakers, and normally I'm not a Laker backer, but watching this money all day, I'm getting more confident as the day rolls along that my money's in the right spot. I just think, LeBron and the company, they need to wake up. I think they're going to do it tonight. The line's just screaming.
Lakers. Let me ask you this about the Lakers here. When you look at the injury report, you see Anthony Davis, you see LeBron James on that injury report. Now, they're going to play. But when you see Davis with knee soreness and you see LeBron with groin soreness, you're a little worried that maybe they may not be at 100%, and maybe the opponent can sense that. What's your thoughts here about the Lakers? Are there two key guys 100%? You think they're 100% healthy for this one?
I don't know if anybody's 100% after a long NBA season, but we did have that long layoff. I got to believe that they're healthy and ready to go. I don't think those guys would be playing if they weren't near 100%.
All right, so Dale, looking over on the Portland side, of course, you're going against them here. Do you think their bad defense is gonna crop up here? And of course, Lakers did defend well, but they just couldn't get the scoring here. Do you think the Lakers will keep that defense in check here? Because the Blazers were held at 100 points. Remember, they were putting a ton of points in the bubble.
If this was a Lakers-Clippers matchup, I'd be really looking at the under two really good teams going at it. But here, I think it gets out of control early. And, I do think it creeps over the number because Lakers will get up by 20, 30 points. Blazers will get some points in. I think it creeps over that number also.
I think so. This should be an interesting one to check out. Mitch, you had something to add on this?
Yeah, it's just like I was talking about on the morning show, and, people say I talk too much, and I do, and I'm not going to apologize for it. But at the same time, I think that, we have to remember Portland shot miserably in that game one. Miserably. They did not play anywhere near their best game. We didn't see anything near Portland's best game in that game. And I think that what we saw from the Lakers is two guys that can play and a bunch of other guys. And I think when you have that problem, especially against one guy who's just on a heater, a magical run, a magical run, a Gordon Hayward in the NCAA tournament type run, very, very, very hard to stop. Very hard to stop. But I don't know. I got asked by my nephews last night at Ohio State that all their friends around and stuff. And we were talking on the phone. They do a lot of our video processing for me, and they said, who would you rather have, Lillard or Curry? So I thought it was an interesting question. I think right now maybe Lillard, but normally I'd rather have Curry.
Yeah, that's the thing here. And of course, looking at the series, Brian, of course, people like to make these series plays. Sometimes they like to take when the heavy favorite loses game one. Sometimes they like to come back on the favorite because they get a little bit of value because they're down 0-1. But how do you see this series playing out here with Portland? Of course, a lot of the issue with Portland has always been their depth. But in this format, there's no travel. So, Portland, and this has been an issue with them past several years. They don't have much depth. So it forces Lillard, their starters to go heavy minutes. They look worn out. They look tired. But in this format here, there's no travel. And how do you see it playing out? Do you see this as a long series?
Honestly, I see the Lakers winning from here on out against the Blazers. I mean, typically I hate backing teams like the Lakers, but I just don't see how they don't get the broom out the rest of the way and sweep them.
All right.
LeBron's legacy's on the line. If he gets taken out, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. But we'll see how that again, I'm always concerned about when you see players on the injury report, groin soreness, knee soreness with Davis. Are they 100%, man? Are they 100%? Can the opponent sense that and kind of go right at them? And of course, who's going to make the shots for them outside, Brian?
Boy, that's a tough question right here. I mean, I think when it comes down to it, LeBron can hit that three-pointer if the game's on the line.
Got a $5 super chat from Justin B. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin. Yes. Okay, Brian. So why don't you let the viewers and listeners know over at Pick Dogs on the premium site what you got going here. We got prime time plays available for you right now. There's still got plenty of action out there. We got a couple of NBAs tipping off 8 games for Major League Baseball. A couple of the hockey, no more than hockey. It's all out. They all have it all prime time. So a lot of action up there this evening.
All of my MLB plays are still available. I have an MLB 3-pack out there. And as Justin just said, just the morning show picks that we gave out, New York, Tampa Bay over. I gave out Tampa Bay. I give out Tampa Bay every single game in that series. Astros, I loved them, right, on the money line as a dog. And Indiana, Miami under. I said physical game on that one. And the Jays money line.
Absolutely. Of course, we just have the game tipping off now, Milwaukee, Orlando. So it's a lot of action out there, Brian. So we'll look for you over at Pick Dogs. And, of course, we can listen to you in the mornings, right?
Yeah, make sure you tune in every day at 11 o'clock. I'll be on with Mitch, and we'll give our best leans for the day.
All right.
Thanks, Brian, for joining us. Of course, I'll see you in the morning. We're sick of carrying you, and please act more professional tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow morning, guys.
Always a pleasure. That was Brian Bittler. From
Brian Bittler on the show, and of course we're going to get to our next guest here. We have some handicappers online with us. But Mitch, we just saw the tip-off here with Orlando and Milwaukee, and this is a series with no Gordon playing. Carter Williams looks like he's out as well. So some people think that this is setting up for a blowout for the Bucks. So what do you think?
I think that definitely the Bucks, they kind of have this is must win. After you suffer that kind of loss, where they reeled them in and then took the loss in game one, they have to win. But that is a lot of points, for a playoff game. It just is. We've seen some by that margin, but in the NBA playoffs, there's nothing but good teams left. There's no lousy teams. You don't back into it in the NBA playoffs.
No, you don't at all. And of course, that line moved up to 13 because the questionables for Orlando are out. So we'll see how the Bucks. But one thing with the Bucks, Mitch, is that they're not defending. They're not scoring. I look at some of the efficiency numbers, and they used to be near the top in offensive and defensive numbers, but they're down the middle. So I got to see them defend and score here. So. We've got some more handicappers waiting for it online with us, Mitch. So let's get on to the next pick.
Another $10 super chat from Dennis Finley. Thank you very much. We appreciate the support. Let me see if I can get the next capper. I struggle with the controls, and Tony will be back on the controls at some point. That's why in the morning show we have kind of it all set up. Just lost my cameras, so can't see it. But I'll get it. We'll have it shortly. So let's see.
Update some of the scores at the Houston, Colorado. They finally scored some runs while they're in Colorado now. It's 10-7 with the Astros and Rockies, and the Phillies with Velasquez. Man, you got to always hold your breath if you take him. But they're up 7-2 on Toronto.
Yeah. So Chris Ruffalo's coming on, right? The puck dog.
Yep.
Got Chris. Dog. Welcome to the show, Chris. And of course, Chris and I do the morning show. Chris has been a writer at Sports Chat Place. Then he was a writer at Pick Dogs, and then he was a writer at Sports Chat Place. He's been a puck dog all the way, and of course, personal friend of mine, and king of the fruit cup. With as long as the cup is made out of waffles. Anyways, welcome to the show, Chris, and always a pleasure to see you.
Always a pleasure, guys. I can never turn down a good drive-through. You know that, Mitch.
That's. I think we've seen pictures of you in Vegas with Mitch a few times.
A couple times, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Chris. I know you've got an evening 6-pack up at Pick Dogs, but you've got to play for us tonight.
That I do. It's out of Major League Baseball, and it's going to be out of the Baltimore-Boston game. It's crazy to see how the Red Sox have fallen. And I mean, this team that won the World Series just a couple of years ago. I mean, replacement of talent, litany of injuries. The Red Sox are just a shell of what they were. I'm going to take Baltimore on the money line here. Nate Eovaldi shouldn't be starting for any pitching staff in the major leagues. 5.87 ERA against the O's in 2018, 10.29 in 2019. And this Orioles team hasn't changed much. It's still a team that won just 54 games last year. Asher Wojciechowski, career ERA under 1 against the Red Sox, 2-1 with a ERA just over 1 last year. I love Baltimore on the money line here, getting plus 130.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, the thing is, Eovaldi's just getting crushed. I mean, he's getting hit hard with the home run ball, 40% hard contact rate. They've lost 9 of 10, and Yeah, it's just and you come in the season when you looked at the starting lineup for Boston, you shook your head. How can they go with these guys?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they still had some pieces from before, like, you still had Andrew Benintendi, you had, Christian Vasquez. You still had some decent guys on that roster from like I said, from 2018 when they won the World Series, but it just hasn't come together. They've got a 3-8 record on the road, and it's fallen apart from the beginning.
Yep, and of course Baltimore has been good. I know Mitch likes to look at those unit returns. Remember the podcast? Mitch would always spend time on then Baltimore. Who thought we would be talking about Baltimore near the top of the leaderboard for the units return?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And it's like we've said on the show before. Mitch just said the best teams in Major League Baseball lose 62 times out of a 162 game schedule. So if you're going to get $100 profit on each of those games, you're going to be up 6,200 as opposed to your losses, but you're going to make a profit on it on all those games.
And it's tough when the Orioles and you can't beat the Yankees. You kind of figure, okay, here's the Yankees. Here's 17 losses out of our 18 right here, coming right here against the Yankees. Go ahead, Mitch. What do you got?
One thing I've learned, I've been in this business a while, and I'm not going to be one of these guys like, some of the other people that, I thought they were dead and they just have them propped up on some of the other shows. But, it's like, and that's not a jab at anybody else. I'm just saying I'm not going to be one of these guys. It's all about the number. You're betting a number. It's not. I'm not going to be one of those guys. It's like that's not my shtick. But what I am going to say is that when you're a dog player like me, and like a lot of us, it's like we're going to mix in at the worst, most people are going to mix in some dogs with some favorites. Generally you're going to have bad runs. You're going to have bad days. There's going to be days where the chalk comes in, but every dog has his day, and it just takes, you could have 3 good favorite days in a row. One good dog day, you can never make money betting favorites. You can never hit the home run betting favorites like you can on dogs. It's like playing, it's like playing blackjack and never adding money to your bet. It's like all you can do is win $10, lose 10, and eventually you're going to lose because the odds are against you. And just like baseball, where the team only wins, 60% of the time, and you're giving away 3-1, 1-3 on your money, you're betting against yourself. You are betting against yourself. You're way better off taking a bunch of dogs, and you're going to go through runs. You're going to get beat, and you're going to have games where you're just like, I can't believe I had Evansville against Duke. It's going to happen. It's going to happen where it's like, I was getting 38. I thought I was in good shape, and they lost by 138. It's like, you're going to end up on the wrong side of those games. But at the same time, you're going to, you're going to have the big days. You have to swing for the fences. It's like, if I'm not a slot player, but when I do play slots, right, I'll put $100 in the mega billions one, right, the one where you win 14 million. It's like, you don't know unless you put your money in the machine. But it's like, I'm not gonna, the $20 I put in there, the $100, whatever, it's not going to change my life, but 14 million certainly would. So why not swing for the fences? This is a tough business of betting sports. Most people don't make money.
Yeah, very difficult to turn a profit. And of course, look at last night with that Dodger Mariners game, right? We talked about that yesterday with Urias. He's someone who's trying to get into the rotation. We thought, 6 years ago, this guy was going to be a number 1 or number 2. And now he's just trying to get into the rotation. And that Taijuan Walker, all of a sudden now he's in the news because he's on the trade block now.
Yeah, it's sometimes the way it goes. You have the best start of your season, and the next thing you know, like, hey, okay, we can get some value for you now. Thank you. Here's your walking papers. But you know what? It happens, and that's the one thing I've learned, especially from this season, in a shortened season where the wins mean that much more. You are going to see these dogs, push harder than I think you normally would. And, last night was an example of how it can come in and how you can benefit from it.
Absolutely. And of course, one thing, angle I'm looking at here was this Detroit Tigers team. You wonder, what is this team? How are they doing? All of a sudden they start playing the division and they crumble. So, there's some angles there to look at, Chris. You look at some of these divisional battles. It just seems that these bad teams, when they get in divisions, they know how to clobber you.
Yeah, you look at a team like, I know my other puck dog and I, Rob, we talk off the air a lot, and we're saying once you get to Cleveland destroys the rest of the AL Central. When you got a team like Detroit who falters left and right. And I'm a Toronto fan, I can tell you, when we played the rest of the AL East, it's not looking good. We pull out a win here and there, but against the rest of the division, it doesn't look good. Sometimes just teams just have your number, especially when you play those teams like you do in a major league season 19 times a year. Chances are they're going to get you.
Absolutely. Over at Pick Dogs, Chris, I know you've got a play going. You've got a evening six-pack, a lot of action out there for the players.
Yes, I have 5 of my best MLB plays for the night, including my top NBA play as well, thrown in there, making a nice 6-pack, $29.95. Can't go wrong. Absolutely.
All right, Chris, as always, thanks for joining us, and we'll listen for you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time on the Pick Dog Show.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for dropping by, Chris.
Supersize.
We got some excellent parting gifts for you. A case of Rice-A-Roni. 31 now in 31 flavors. You could have Rice-A-Roni every day of the month.
Absolutely, no doubt. All right, Mitch, Milwaukee up 17-11 as they have 4 minutes left, and we'll see if they can cover that big number 13, Mitch, as it closed that closing line. It opened 11, and of course with the news with Gordon, it moved up to 13 in that game.
Yeah, I don't know, I struggle with this camera switching, but I will get it down. I think what I need to do is create a new scene. Let's see. We go here. Oh, that's Rod Zawacki waiting in the green room, but that's okay. Hey, Rod, good to see you. And then we're back. And then, okay.
Now, Nino's.
There we go. Now we're good. All right. It's a work in progress. I'm not going to sit here and say that everything is perfect. Yesterday I thought the show was a little choppy. We didn't have a lot of the guests scheduled. And I thought this is closer to the show that you're going to see where it's like we're never just going to, all of a sudden it's just different cast of characters and different whatever. And, a bunch of people that don't know anything about sports betting or something like that. It's like we have our own, we had the eye candy. We had Ruffalo on and we're going to have Zawacki. So it's like, it's like they're only here for the chicks.
There you go. The checks or the chicks?
Both. Well, both. Both. Exactly.
All right. We're taking a look here at our action here for Major League Baseball. We've got 8 games in prime time, and I think our next guest up is Al Nino to look at some action for today.
All right. Let's see if we can get Al in here. Let's see if I go here. Oh, I still got Ruffalo, but
all right.
We will get Al here. So we go Tony, Al.
We know Al's a big LA. He's from LA. I think he's moved over to Florida.
We got him. We're good.
Dodger fan. How you doing, Al?
Doing good. How are you?
Very good. Very good. I know you're not going to touch this Dodger game, right? Kershaw minus 300, right? You're staying away from that one.
Kershaw, we are for the video, yeah.
Oh, all right. Oh, all for the video. Okay, so yeah, Kershaw has come up, had that good game against the Angels. But Kikuchi, big dog in this one. Total's gone down from 8.5 to actually it opened 9, came down to 8.5 and 8 in some places. And one of the sharp offshore books really steamed that total down in that game. That I know you like to follow the Dodgers a lot. And Kershaw, you think he's I think if you look at this game, you may look for the total. What you got there, Mitch?
We got a comment here. Rod faced like he was like, oh shit, good stuff, guys. Thank God he had pants on. That's all I gotta say is, it's like it could have been pretty ugly. It's like we cut over to Zawacki. He's pantless. It's like, thank you, Rod, for sporting the pants. We'll talk about that later on. And of course, I have some questions for Al as well. Because Al and I are kind of opposite styles, right? I'm Mr. Dog of the day. Al is more Mr. Chalk. So what do you do when you get hammered on a Seattle game like last night on a minus 300 favorite and you just get smacked around the park like that? I mean, it takes 3 wins to make up for something like that. If you're playing mostly favorites, it's like how is the long-term strategy turn profitable in a situation like that?
Well, when Ben favorites, the thing is you try not to take the money line like that too often. You try to find a way to reduce the juice a bit, whether it's the run line or what I like to do a lot is taking the -1 line, splitting my bet up between the money line and the run line. So in case my team just wins by 1, it's a push rather than losing on the run line. Of course, when it's a minus 300, you can't really do the -1. You got to go run line or super run line at that point, or just leave that game alone, or leave it up to Mitch to pick the dog there and go for the big payoff.
I always do, man. It's like I'm not in it to make 35 cents. I'm in it to make 5 million. It's like just like we hit the 18,000 YouTube subscribers. What's my goal? 10 million. It's like I don't. My goal is that has nothing to do with the 18. People are like, congratulations on 18,000. It's like, well, it puts us 9 million. 900 and whatever 982,000 away from our goal. Our first goal is a million. Our second goal, 10 million. But anyways, Al, Tony's got, I'm sure, lots of more questions for you. I just, I'm interested in betting strategy, and it's like, for me, it's like everyone knows I'm willing to take my lumps for the big payoff. And that's just my strategy. Is that I feel, being a dog player, you're gonna take your lumps, and it's always gonna be, most of the time, it's gonna be at even money. So it's like it's just minus 100, and then when you hit minus 250, plus 250, plus 300, plus on and on and on. One win makes up for three losses. So it's kind of the inverse. But I've seen you string together some amazing streaks. Like we had a few days there was all favorites, so you went on a nice heater. Congratulations on that. I took it. Of course, I took it on the chin those days.
Yeah,
I got crushed.
And how can you recognize a good favorite versus bad favorite? That's the thing. But when you get over 200, that's something first thing I do is I look the other way, or I look for a total in a situation like this. I think that's what a lot of the sharp players are doing here with this Mariner game. They probably see some value here going under the total. It's a pitcher's park. Kershaw looks sharp on the road. Kikuchi at home actually put up some respectable numbers. So I think that's what people are looking at here. Why we've seen that line move from 9 to 8 in the total in that game. Now, there are some 8.5s out there, but anyway, Al.
Kevin Buckley, thank you for the $10 super chat. Send me your name, address, and shirt size. I'll send you a Pick Dog shirt, just like the one that I'm wearing.
Awesome. All right, what do you got for us tonight? We've got, as I said, in primetime 8 games for Major League Baseball. Still an NBA game up there, that late night Laker-Portland game, and a couple hockey. What do you got for us, Al?
Yeah, obviously tuning into the NBA game. 2 great hockey games I stayed off of today. But yeah, definitely tuning into that Lakers game as well as the Dodger game. But I got a little play for you on the Red Sox game. I know Chris gave out the side, so I'm going to look at the total here. I see 2 teams, obviously not the best teams in the league, and I think most of their problems obviously come from the pitching, not so much their offense. So I expect to see a lot of runs in this one, and I think this one goes over this total, which is a little high at 9.5, but I don't think these teams will have too much trouble getting over that.
All right, you're looking at the over total. Actually, it opened at 10, so there's been some underplay on that one, Al. So you're kind of getting that value there to get over the total. Of course, Eovaldi used to be a Dodger at one time, right?
Yeah, but I just don't think he's been that great. And obviously, Boston's got the big names in their lineup, but Baltimore can hit the ball too, and they can go deep with it too. And I expect home runs from both teams here, and I don't know why this total's gone down, but I like the over a lot, and I like it more now at 9.5. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had looked at that as well, but I was more with Chris taking the dog in there with Wojciechowski, and of course the Orioles lineup. But the fact is, the Red Sox just playing bad. I mean, you look at coming into the season. If you're one of the everyday lineup and you look at that pitching staff, you're gonna think to yourself, man, we've got to score 8, 9, 10 runs a game. Yeah, sometimes because these pitchers aren't any good, and that's tough on them. That's tough on the mentality of an everyday player going to the stadium knowing that, hey, we got to come out with a lot of run production, and there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders, and especially with the bullpen that has not been very good. And you've got Eovaldi, and of course there has been some injuries. Chris Sale, one of Mitch's guys. We've talked about Mitch. We've talked about him in the past quite a bit out. But anyway, you're sitting on that total in that game, and just want to let you know, Al, you've got an MLB home run going tonight over at the Pig Dogs.
Yeah, I like that play a lot. If you want to check it out, still have another play in the MLB. Actually, 3 plays in the MLB if you want to pick a package up, but yeah, just the one play for sale. But yeah, I don't disagree at all with that dog there. See, I wouldn't lay any juice with Boston anytime soon. So definitely don't disagree with that dog there. But yeah, I like the play on the total as well. And yeah, so got obviously these 3 plays today. I've already circled quite a few plays for tomorrow. We got some NBA and baseball, and we'll be taking a look at the NHL playoffs as well. So we've got all that going on. So it's a great time to pick a package up right now if you want to check that out, because we got a lot of sports going on.
So
Right,
the wind at Fenway is kind of blowing. The wind in Baltimore kind of blowing out a little bit, to left, but it's just very slight. It's about 5 miles an hour. I know a lot of times when I see a dropping total on a play that looks like a solid over, I do like the overplay in that game. I just think exactly what you said: bad pitching and teams that swing for the fences is usually a good combination for a lot of runs, especially this year where it just seems there's a lot of home runs, already. And I just think that, I look at the weather. Like today I was out on the golf course, like I am every day, right? And I mean, the ball, it was just one of those days where it's like you just hit the ball as hard as you possibly can. It just goes nowhere, It's like, it's one of those things. And it's like, but on the other side of it, the putting green is a little slower than it normally is. So it's like, it's kind of give and take. And I think, in baseball, you see some days where it's a heavy ball, some pitchers that throw a heavy ball, and you see some days where the ball is just flying. And, Tony is a big, Tony will go on, if we let him go, he'll go on for an entire show about the humidor. He will.
I was about to bring that up.
I know how to serve you a softball here.
Yeah, it's just amazing what's going on here with these balls and how they're impacting the game. And of course, now with sports betting legal in the U.S., we need to know what's going on. We definitely do.
Thank you for the super chat, Mike.
All right, Al, as always, great having you on the show on our drive-through, and we'll see you have you on tomorrow. Talk to you then.
It was a pleasure, yeah.
Mitch, can you give a free pick from Al? He gave a pick. He said over in the Baltimore-Boston game. Nope.
Baltimore, over.
Yeah, that was his. Thanks, Al, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that was Al Ninos here on the drive-through. All right, Mitch, we're looking at eight games from Major League Baseball. I know you like someone up over on the side tonight.
Yeah, I have a few premium plays. I give out so many free picks, and it's just my premium plays are a little different. I'm mixing picks that I already gave, and it's kind of like, or I throw in some that I haven't given. It's usually a mix. I give out so many free picks, I don't even remember what they are half the time. I know what my picks are that I get. I know what side I'm on, but I don't know which ones I've given out. But it's like, these are the ones that I like the best. These are the ones I'm betting. I just say, these are the ones I'm betting. Those are the ones that I feel comfortable giving out, So I took it on the chin in the first two basketball games today, and I'm going to bounce back in a big way. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit here. I don't sit here and hang my head over it. That's for sure.
Absolutely, a lot of line moves here. The bigger line was obviously that Dodger from 230 up to 300. The people just in love with those Dodgers, and they can have them. One thing here I want to look at here is the line move in this Arizona and Oakland game from 145 to 160 with Manaea. Now Manaea struggled, but had a serviceable start last time out against the Giants. And Arizona was a hot team, but that's been one of the bigger moves, Mitch, as well as is the Cincinnati game that caught my interest here was Gray, now up to $1.47 in some places, open $1.25 against Wainwright. Wainwright, like I said, this team has been struck by COVID. And he's making his third start, but he's put up some respectable numbers. The crusty veteran Wainwright.
Yeah, I really like the way Wainwright's been pitching this season, and I just looked, this morning at all the the recent Reds Cardinals matchup, and it just seems that the Cardinals just absolutely have their number. I know the public is enamored with Sonny Gray, and they've been enamored with the Reds this season, but I think the Reds have been one of the more disappointing teams. They were super hyped coming into the season. And, we saw in their first series against the Tigers, right? Minus 200, minus 240, lose. Talking about betting favorites and losing. I mean, if you bet against the Cincinnati Reds every game this season, you're rich. You are rich. I mean, they've won some games, usually as a favorite, though. They haven't won too much as a dog, and they've usually won as a favorite, and they've lost anytime they've been minus 200 or more. They've lost, like last night.
Yeah, and if you look at the line moves here, they've all pretty much in baseball, all on the side of the favorites. Cleveland with Bieber from 210 to 255, 270 in some places. We talked about Kershaw. Woodruff with a change of favorite there with Minnesota Open. Now it's 105 both sides with Woodruff and Berrios. And of course, the Red Sox moving up from their opener. And of course, we talked about that Cincinnati Sonny Gray moving up from the opening line there, Mitch. So we've seen some of that favorites just getting steamed.
Bieber's been outstanding this season, so I could see, where the public can be all over him. But kind of like we talked about Garrett Cole yesterday, he's not going to win them all. I can guarantee you, he's not going to win them all. It's in today's baseball, it's impossible. He might get no decisions or whatever, but in today's baseball, it is impossible to go undefeated. It is impossible to have more than 10 decisions and to be undefeated.
Yeah,
it's impossible. Impossible.
Yeah. Yep. Even the bad teams win 60 games, except for this year the Tigers.
Except for the Royals, right?
Yeah. All right, here on the drive-through. Looks like we got Rod. We got Rod. He's got a play for us tonight, and he'll be our next capper on. And we're on our drive-through here every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We bring on all the cappers from the Pig Dogs, and we get you our prime time picks.
I think I still have Al here, so we will go with kind of. This is just a little different format for us. Normally in the morning show, I have these all set, so I can just flip between the scenes. But, it doesn't matter. Rod, welcome to the show. Haven't seen you in a couple hours. Love the shirt. And Rod and I are, Tony, I don't know how familiar he is with our morning show, but Rod and I are the inventors of the Canuck dance. Basically, we went through all the hockey logos trying to figure out what they were one day. We went through it like who has got the worst logo, who's got the best. I thought it was a green smudge with some yellow on it, from Minnesota Wild. It's actually a bear. Who knew, And it was like, then the Canucks, Rod is our hockey, and so he knows these logos. He's like, it's an orca with the sea kind of jumping through it. We do the Canuck dance. Rod, welcome, and we welcome the Canuck dance to the evening version of the live show. Of course, Rod's with me all morning at 11 o'clock, 7 days a week.
Welcome, Rod. And, what's your thoughts so far in this in the morning sessions that we've seen, early afternoon sessions?
That first game in the hoops got me. I had Indy. I figured they would bounce back as well. And then the next one, Houston. I had Houston. OKC just not look the same in the bubble. At the beginning of the year, they were looking real good, and we were backing them and making a killing off them. They're just not looking so good. I think they're ready to pack the bubble quick.
Do you think it's the matchup there? They can't keep up with the scoring. When you look at their offensive efficiency numbers, not near like third worst of the teams in the playoffs, and just not being able to keep up with the scoring runs from the Rockets.
Jeremy, thank you for the super chat.
That's what it looks like.
Super chat, $21.01 from Jeremy. Thank you.
They just don't have enough supporting cast around them to pop the points in, and Houston does. Houston's got lots of extra little pieces that can score 15 to 20 in a hurry.
Yeah, that Minnesota Wild logo it just baffles me. And it's like I just don't even understand it. It's like it's a bear, but it looks like a smudge. It just looks like the greens. I thought it was like a swarm of bees or something. We couldn't figure it out. And then Ruffalo is like, oh, it's a bear. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, if you want a bear, just have a bear. I mean, how hard is this?
Two players that I see that get awfully emotional on the court is Embiid and Chris Paul. And when they both are down 0-2. So what do you think the mind frame here for these teams coming back, especially with Paul and Embiid? What do you think they deliver here in these game three? Because I know Paul, they used to call him Powder Paul. He was always pouting all the time, and Embiid can get real emotional. He put up a hard work. You saw what he looked like on the bench. He was just totally humiliated.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, for me, I think the 76ers are done. I think they're ready to pack the bag and leave the bubble as well. They're another team they don't look the same. But when you lose Simmons like that and he leaves, and that's a huge piece for 76ers there. With him in there, might be a different story.
Do you think the 76ers, I mean, obviously you're on the live show with me, so you know my thoughts. Rod has his way of calling. Like, if he doesn't like what he's seeing out there, he just says they're just a bunch of bums. And my saying is, the 76ers, they're heartless. This is a team that is absolutely heartless. They are quitters. They are heartless. They just don't seem to have the motivation, the will to win, that it takes to win at this level. Obviously, they broke it down and built it back up. Do you think that maybe they need to break it down a little bit more and build it back up again, and maybe trade a guy like Simmons for a guy that's like a real gamer, like a James Harden type, because you have one guy who's like, you have these certain players, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard, who we've seen in the playoffs and in the bubble where it's like we might lose, but it's not going to be because I didn't do everything I possibly could correctly, and trained and studied and did prepared for this moment to play against this team in this game right now. And the 76ers just do not look like they do that. Right? It's like They look unprepared, and they're in situations where they look like they never expected this to happen. Like, huh? It's like they don't know what they're doing. It's like so Joel Embiid will throw up a 3-pointer, with 2 minutes left to go in a playoff game. It's like it just doesn't even make any sense.
No, not whatsoever. I know, Ron, you're looking at a game here in the NBA. I think you mentioned.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at this play right here. It'll be in the Lakers and the Blazers game. I'm focusing on the first quarter of this matchup here. I think the Blazers come out like they're shot out of a gun, like they always do, and they win this first quarter. The Blazers in the first quarter, in their games in the bubble, they're 7-3-1, winning the first quarter in their games in the bubble. And you're going to give me a plus 165 with them to win the first quarter? Give me the Blazers to win this first quarter outright.
Yep, I can't argue that. They're the number one team in offensive efficiency in the bubble, and the Lakers near the bottom. And that's the issue. We've talked about this over and over, how the Lakers just can't hit the three. And what's your thoughts here when you're looking at LeBron and Anthony Davis? You see them both on the injury report with soreness, knee soreness with Davis, groin soreness with LeBron. Do these players look the same to you?
No. And they will never tell you that they're not playing at 100% as well. They will tell you that they're, we're fit and we're great and we're ready to play. And they'll tell you that. They could be playing at 70%, and we'll never know as a fan watching that they're playing at 70%. But there's something not right there with the Lakers. They don't look very good at all. But then you got two guys. Who else is their supporting cast? Two guys can score, and who else is scoring for them? I don't see anybody putting any buckets in there to help with the scoring there.
Yeah. Being from LA, it sounds familiar because we had the same thing with Kobe for so many years. There's nobody around him.
Yeah, exactly. No supporting cast.
No, none whatsoever. And it's pretty sad state. The Lakers again, of course. I don't know if it's a must-win down 0-2, they can come back. But how do you see the series playing out? Something I was really interested in here in this situation where there's no home court, it's neutral court only. Portland, a team that over time we've seen them without depth, but of course that has to do with travel. When you're traveling different cities, that lack of depth can catch up to you. But now you just stay in one place. One thing too. I think this is what happened with Phoenix. All you can do in a bubble is focus on basketball. It's just, there's nothing outside. It's just like prison basketball. All you got to do every day is just think about basketball. There's nothing else to think about. So that's all you've got. So
there's no extra distractions for them in the bubble, right? So they're just focused, and Portland they just look way more focused than the Lakers do. The Lakers just look like they're not even here, and they're like that, and you can already hear it. They're like, oh, it's not the same. There's no fans. Well, the fans aren't playing the game, so get out there and give it 150% there, which I think we will see LeBron come out tonight. He'll give it everything he's got. We know that. He won't go quietly. He'll give everything he's got, but without a supporting cast, I think they're in trouble. I don't see this series going long, and I think the Lakers might get ousted and surprise a lot of people.
When you see a lot of Caruso on the court, I just cringe because this was the G League player. What do they call it now? The D League, G League. I don't even know what they call it anymore. But
G League.
G League, right? He was a G League player. That's where he belongs.
I love the G League. It's all my guys from the college guys that were good, that we followed and everything. So it's like I'm big on the G League. I mean, we don't talk about it on our website. We don't cover it on the show, and it's like we're not all of a sudden the G League gurus. But it's like I'm one of the 6 G League fans. It's like because it's all the guys I know. It's all the guys from college that were really good. It's like name a good college guy that you think fizzled out. G League.
That's right. Well, and then of course, if it wasn't the G League, they'd be playing pickup basketball in the LA courts. Like
that's the G League. That's the G League. That's what the G League is. It's like the pickup games between. I mean, these guys can play. I mean, there will be guys from the G League that will make it. A lot of these guys that were picked. The G League is like NBA second round draft picks. Is what it is. It's the NBA second round draft pick league. Remember when the NBA draft used to be like several rounds? What a G League we could have that.
Yeah.
Guys that played in the TBT. That was cool.
Yeah. What's that 3-on-3 now they have for the veterans? It's like the senior league. And that's 3-on-3.
Like the senior
Half
league
court.
for like
Half
golf.
court.
You can still play a little here. We'll put you on this 3-on-3.
3-on-3. Ice T 3-on-3. You know.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see a guy in a wheelchair play in that league. I mean, it's getting close to that.
This one's for Tony. A lot of wind blowing out in San Francisco. Anyway, you could elaborate on how West Coast stadiums are built for the wind, or is it the distance to the fence?
In the West Coast, when you look at out here in LA, I focus a lot in Southern California, and we just haven't had that marine layer that we used to have in the past couple of years. It's been very hot springs, and usually when we've got marine layer, that you get that soupy air, and the ball is difficult to carry. So you'll see a lot of warning track fly balls, and especially with teams like the Dodgers when they like to hit for power. You got to keep an eye on that humidity, and keep an eye on that marine layer, because these home runs end up being fly ball outs. You saw that in the playoffs in the playoff games in October, where you had the marine layer, and the Dodgers were not getting those balls over the fence because of that situation. But more in the West Coast, you look at the marine layer in towns that are near the ocean, like in San Francisco, San Diego, the Dodgers. Not so much Anaheim. Anaheim is more inland than the other three Southern California teams. But the marine layer is something I really look at. And of course, right now when we're in a heat wave, we saw a lot of overs in Southern California between the Dodgers and the Angels. They went through a little overrun because we were sitting at triple-digit temperatures.
And there's the short answer for you. Rod, you got a free play for us here?
Yeah, my free play is the Blazers money line first quarter was my free play.
Nice.
Yep, nice. And I know you got a Thump the Books package up over at Pig Dogs.
Yeah, Thump the Book package for tonight. We got 2 hockey in there and 1 MLB play. I love these plays tonight. Definitely going to take it to the books tonight with those.
All right, Rod. Thank you very much. Have good luck with your plays, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you, Rod. We'll see you in a few hours through some NHL videos.
There you go.
I tell you, I do the NHL videos, and I tell everyone on the morning show, I do it with Ruffalo and Zwacky, and I at least have 5 minutes of every night where I can't even control myself. I'm laughing so hard. It's like I'm in tears, and my face turns all red. It's tears. And there's always one NHL video that we do every night where it's like I'm just looking all over the place because I can't even look at these guys without just totally busting up, uncontrollably. It's the star. We're hoping that the Stars and Flames, keeps going, because it's always during the Stars and Flames videos. It's like
yeah, man. I think you got Alex Smart. I think he's signed on to chat or to Skype.
I don't see him.
I think I emailed you his. Maybe if you just do a search, Alex Smart, you'll find him. But he's standing by.
I did ring him up.
I did get a. Let's see here.
I ringed him up in our group.
Let's see.
I could try him again.
Okay.
Let's see if we can try him again. Let's see. No, 5 of 7 in the call. He's not here. Let me see again. I'll try one more time.
Okay.
In the meantime.
In the meantime, it looks like the blowout is going on in Milwaukee. 37-19, second quarter there. Magic on a 60-second timeout. So far covering that 13-point line. That Laker game and Blazers still sitting at 6.5. The total sitting at 230, opening from 226.5, Mitch. So, people that loved it over in that game one were disappointed because they couldn't couldn't even combine for 200 points in that game one.
So here's Alex Smart. Let me add him again.
Okay.
To our group and see.
And we got a final here. Houston holds on 10-8 over Colorado. Herman Varquez was on the hill, and Houston offset a 5-0 lead in the second inning. And of course, the game concluded here that the White Sox 9-0. Boy, Detroit continuing their problem against the division. They're just getting pounded in the division now. And Tampa Bay, as Mitch was on, 10-5 victories against the Yankees. Paxton going down is a big favorite again.
I've rung up Alex Smart here, but I don't see him in the Skype. Do you see him?
Let's see here. I don't.
Thank you for the super chat, Derek Lynch. Send me your information.
Let's see here. Let me see if I can find him here. Alex Smart. There he is. Well, I can invite people here then. Okay, let's see.
just want to say that, I don't hammer the numbers on the show and talk about what's going on, but since the restart, almost 1 million people have watched us here on YouTube, and I just want to thank everybody for all of the views. Tony and I have been doing YouTube forever, and so I know how hard it is to get 1 million people to watch your thing every month. And the way I try to describe it to people, and by no means do I mean this, but that this is us. But say the Rolling Stones played 10 shows a month, and 100,000 people filled a stadium to see them. That's 1 million people. So it's it's not that easy, and that's for sure. And most months we have more than that, but we're at that 1 million viewer mark. I just want to thank everybody again. I appreciate all the support that everyone has given me, throughout the years.
Yeah, Alex is on Skype, so we got to see how we can put him on the air here. Alex Smart. Let's see, how do I add to?
I added him on our thing, but I sent him a friend.
Let's see. Let's see here.
3 group members not on call. Alex Smart. And then this one. And I'm going to say add again. And now I'm calling him, so he should be there.
Hello.
There he
There
is.
he is.
All right, let's see if we can get him in here. All right, I don't see him, but I see that he is here. We don't see your camera.
Okay. 1 second. I'm sorry. Boy. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. No problem.
Take your time. We need an NHL place, though. We got.
Oh, you got. Okay. Yeah, I'll just do an NHL. I don't have all the. Where's this damn camera? Okay.
All right, we'll get your camera set
We
here.
can always bring Ruffalo in for some material in the meantime. He's always on standby.
Yes.
Wait 1 second here.
Ruffalo's like, I can come back.
Are we live? Are we live?
We're live. Yes, we are live.
Wow, gentlemen. Okay, let's just get going with this. Let's get going. Maybe you can just hear my voice, and that's the most important thing for now.
All right, we'll bring you on. Alex, this is
Sure.
Alex Smart. I wonder if we could at least get your picture. But I don't see it. Okay, normally there's a little button to hit the camera.
Okay.
On.
I'm afraid to turn everything off by me.
No. Settings. Go to settings and then camera. There you go. Welcome. We see you.
How about the king of technology here, guys?
There you go. Hey, we don't care about technology. We only care about winners on our show.
Okay.
Welcome to the show. Good to see you. It's a brand new show, and we're glad to have you. Alex Smart is one of our expert handicappers at Pick Dogs and at Sports Chat Place. Old friend of mine as well, so it's like I'm glad to have him here. And it's like when we went through, and I got a comment yesterday, and I'm going to address it, and it's like I'm not going to sit here and ignore that it didn't happen. I got a comment yesterday, and people said, you introduce all these people as your good friends, but where were they when you left Sports Chat Place? And what happened is when I left Sports Chat Place is that nobody really understood what was going on. It's not like, they hear one side, they hear another side. All they know is this is where my check is coming from. This is the person that pays me. This is the person I talk to get my picks up. This is all that stuff. I understand there's something legal going on in the background, which there was, which I'm not allowed to talk a hell of a lot about, but there was, right? And they said when the legal stuff clears up, let's talk then. And as soon as it did, these are the first guys on board, right? And they're if you notice, they're not on the old site anymore. None of them are on there anymore. They were given a choice to be on my site or that site, and they all chose to came here, and I'm glad to have every one of them. And because they didn't abandon ship to come to a site that I didn't have. I mean, it didn't really make any sense. It was like we didn't even have the ability to have them on the site, so they had nowhere to go. So it's like I don't care. It's all water under the bridge. We're kicking some ass now, and that's what it's all about. And we're only in the first inning. So Alex, welcome aboard. And I'm not going to sit here and ignore that the comment didn't happen. It was one comment, and it's like I don't care. I'm not going to ignore it. That's not what I do, and I'm going to stand behind that. It's like wow. So this guy went on selling picks and got a paycheck. Joe D'Amico and Tony, because they went on and got something that they had. Tony had a contract with these guys that he had to do this, right? And it's like he had to fill out his obligation. It was like, it is what it is. But this is now. We don't look back. We only look forward, and we're looking forward to some winners from Alex Smart. Alex, how are you?
I want to introduce It's Alex here, and one thing you'll get from Alex is a really unique perspective. You're not going to get handicapper talk so much from Alex. Alex is a professional bettor and has been for several years, and I know you've had some time working with people behind the counter. So I've known you for a better part of the year, and I know Alex. I know you have a unique perspective here on how you handle your bets.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to think outside the box. You can't just be constantly on the same, how we say, run the bandwagon, do the gamut of picks like, a regular handicapper. I want to consider myself outside the box. I want to consider myself unique and just keep on propping myself up like this, making myself feel better about myself. But anyway, the bottom line is I think winners on the long term, and that's what I usually offer. It's been like that my entire career online. And hopefully we keep it up tonight. I'm looking at an NHL game. It's the Dallas-Calgary series, and Dallas is up 3-2. I think they finished it off tonight. I'm going to tell you why. Calgary's been so inconsistent this season, and you have to be able to constantly forecheck. You have to play a 60-minute game when you play the Dallas Stars. All the errors about defense, they wait you out. And they're going to wait them out tonight. They're going to finally finish the series off 4-2. It's done.
All right, Alex Smart here on our drive-through, and of course you can find Alex over at Pig Dogs, and up there you'll pick up one of his packages. Alex, you follow all the sports, NHL, NBA as well. How do you? What's been your opinion so far of this NHL playoffs? Of course, teams in a bubble. It's a little unique, little different situation for someone like you with several years in this industry.
Well, when you look at the NHL and you look at the NBA, both are in a bubble this year. You look at everything from a neutral perspective, but then you also have to look at motivation. And motivation seems to be a problem with some teams. One of them may be the LA Lakers in the NBA bubble, and you can see it. I mean, you can see that there is a difference, and we love to make money on betting sports. That's what we do. But at the same time, it doesn't have the same vibe. And but hey, the money's important, so we'll just go from there.
I know you like to look at the lines. You like to look at the line movement. That's something you look at. And how has it been different with these games in the bubble versus the regular season where you have home and away?
Well, there's been some sharp money. I mean, like I said, it's all about money. It's a business, and it's a business from a bettor's perspective, a professional gambler's perspective, and it's an investment. So you're going to see some big money flying in. I'm still seeing the big money flying in, right? We're not seeing the Robin Hooders like we used to, and I think that'll change over a period of time.
I see, and of course, Alex, a professional bettor, and what would you say your strong suit is in all the sports?
My strong suit, lately I've really paid a lot of attention to the NBA over the last 6 or 7 seasons, and it's been really quite profitable for me long term. So, I love the NBA. There's something about the NBA that seems to give me that advantage on the lines makers. So, and that's my battle. My battle is their number, my number, and that's where we go from.
That's something that Alex holds very close to the vest, is how you make your numbers. I've been talking to Alex for a better part of the year about how he makes his numbers, and he's been very successful in betting to the point where I think people on the other side of the counter tried to offer you work, right?
Well, there was a time when I was offered work, and I was there, but I don't know. I don't live a regular lifestyle. I mean, this is what this is all about. This is for non-burger flippers. It's for guys like who want to think outside the box, and Mitch knows, and I think Tony, and I know these probably gentlemen know exactly what I'm talking about. You want to live outside this box they've created for us.
Absolutely.
I don't know the box right now, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah.
Without being too philosophical. Yeah.
No doubt about that. Alex likes to go after those bookmakers. No friends of his. He's not going to go on their side.
Hey, everyone knows always, like, you get comped in Vegas, right? You get covered. It's like, they don't want to see me. It's like, I'm the guy that's like, the people, when I go to place my bet, they always say, Mitch, who do you want? It's like, it's the strangest thing, It's like, I don't know these guys, a lot of them. And it's like, I know that they know it from watching me, throughout the years. It's crazy, and it's like, but it's not like the sportsbook manager comes out and gives me the bro hug, it's kind of like, I got to get my drink tickets just like the rest of you. I slip the guy at the window an extra $5 and he gives me some extra drink tickets. But it's like, I get the same treatment that you guys do. It's like, I'm not the guy going in there getting walloped, It's like, those are the people that are getting the high roller suite.
Shark Money's not as welcome as it was in Vegas at one time. There was a time when they wanted to battle all the Shark Money. They don't want the Shark Money anymore. They just, like I said, they want Robin Hooders coming in there and just bashing away, being drunk, and losing everything they have before they leave.
I know you follow syndicates out there, and what's going on with this U.S. market now? Are we seeing some strong play there with sharp people out there, maybe getting together, maybe syndicates putting together and getting some people in these sports books throughout the United States? Have we seen any of that yet? Because there's a lot more lines out there to pick at.
Well, you know the old saying, money never sleeps. And these guys that were around before all this happened, before this COVID-19 stuff happened, they're still out there. And they're still looking for value, and they're still ready to wallop anybody who wants to offer them a crappy line. And, there's some crappy lines out there. So, yeah, there's some – you can see the money coming in. You can still see the big money coming in. But I think it's been a tough battle for some people. Other people have done fantastic during this bubble. What's
your thought here with New Jersey with these opening lines coming out early with their numbers? Are you seeing? Are you trying to pick into those, or do you know people trying to pick into those numbers?
You know what? There are always going to be sharp numbers right off the bat, and there's not too many mistakes. We have a small room for error, small margin room for error, and we have to wait for those lines sometime. And I think Mitch said he was going to have some live betting this year.
Yeah, I plan on doing it.
There could be some, for guys who do live betting, I think there's going to be some advantages, especially coming later in October.
It's the longer term plans, like during football, when we have football games and stuff like that. I normally do halftime shows, and we do halftime betting, and we've been doing that for the last couple of years. NFL Sunday, we do an early game halftime, where the first game that goes to halftime, I go live, and then we stay live until the last game kicks back off. And we do it in the early games, and then we'll do it again in late games, Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, it's too much, right? But it's not too much for everybody else, but it's, that's what we, it's what we do,
I've experimented with, in-game betting, and I know a lot of people do. I just don't have that same, I don't have that same knack to hit the big money on a consistent basis. So I sort of laid off it. I'll leave it to people that are better at it, to tell you the truth.
That's a good advice there. The juice is pretty high there, so you better know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and it just frightens me out. Not frightened. I'm not scared of anything, but especially laying my money down on something that looks advantageous. I'm not seeing it with the amount of juice, right? So,
I work closely with the U.S. sports books, and those of you that watch my morning show, we've been using the parlay calculator and talking about the different books, and we're comparing the lines at the different books on the show every morning when we're doing our parlay segment. And each of the guys does a parlay, and I have a parlay calculator, and you can go by different states, and it will tell you what books at what state are paying this for your specific parlay, and it's like you just click on the games. It's super easy. You go to the parlay tabs at our website, and you can see $20, like on a $20 three-team parlay, you're seeing $25 differences between the books, and there's nothing consistent about it. It's not like PointsBet is paying $25 less every day. It's like today, PointsBet was $25 more. DraftKings was $25 less, in West Virginia or something. And it was like, and we're seeing this, day after day after day. And when you're betting a $20 parlay and the payout's $25 less, well, that's a parlay and a quarter, right? That more that you have of action you have to work with. So, over time, the people that watch our show generally, and I think, the people that we have on our show, these aren't people that are just, well, I'm in Vegas for the weekend, I want to make a bet. We have those people as well, but it's like generally the people on our show, it's like, well, if there's daytime, weekday sports, that's a really good thing. We love that.
All right, Alex, as always, great having you on the show. Have a great day, a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
I'll get my technology down pat next time.
Yeah,
Hey, guys.
I honestly believe this show is going to be a home run. So I'm really excited to have you on board, and really excited to have you on the site, and excited for our audience to get to know you really much better. And it's like, it's a win for everybody.
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Bye-bye.
All right, Alex Smart over on the Pick Dogs. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs. Pick up one of his long-term packages. That's the best value up there. Mitch, I like the dog Cardinals today with Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, I don't mind that play at all. I gotta say, I've been, like I said, I looked at that Cardinal record up and down against the Reds, and well, I have a premium pick on it. So there you have it. You got a freebie.
I have one too. I'm giving that. That's
Yeah, well, we got rain in the first at Minnesota right now, and I had another premium in that game as well. So hopefully they clear that out, and then in this Buffalo ballpark with Philly and Toronto, I loved that over. I didn't even understand how you could have a game with Vince Velasquez with the I don't care if it's 6 innings, 5 innings, 2 innings, whatever, with the pitchers that Toronto and Philly reel out. Thornton was pitching. It's like, that's like, Thornton is like, you go to the ballpark and the peanut vendor throws you a bag of peanuts. It's basically that. It's like,
and of course you got the double whammy with the Phillies, because you got the bullpen with their ERA. I got under 10 though. I got to give them credit. They improved. They went from like 10.17 to 9.50 the other day.
It's absolutely
showing
horrible.
Improvement, Mitch.
But anyways, I appreciate everyone that's came on and all of our guests for today, and especially everyone out there in our live audience that joined us. Like I said, this is going to be a work in progress, just like everything that we've ever done here. I'm happy that we started with 135 people watching live across our various channels, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think certain days are going to be bigger than others, and I think also it's going to take a little time, but also we're in a different environment than we've ever been in before too. And I think that when we get into the post-COVID world, and people are coming home from work and you can't catch the 11 o'clock show, that this is just another outlet, another way to hear our picks. And, the show's going to develop, and we're going to have new themes and new things and all kinds of stuff. And I'm, like I said, at Pick Dogs at Sports Chat Place, we're in the first inning. I'm talking, I have a meeting every Thursday with my team at Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs. And my company is called Dawn Patrol, which it is. That's the name of my company, is Dawn Patrol. And we have a meeting of all our people, and it's like just the ideas coming out of this call are just, they're mind-blowing to me. It's like, and the all-in that we have of everybody who's just excited about what we're doing and to do new things, and all these super chats and all these super chats and the pick purchases and all the other stuff that you guys are doing. That's gonna, I don't take that. It all goes right back in. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, really excited about this show, Mitch. I love the format. We had several handicappers on, and
I think we'll have Joe back on tomorrow, and I still think I like this cleaner. It's kind of like a cleaner format, and it's only going to get better. We'll work on having the scenes with clean transitions, so we don't have to worry about me finding cameras and stuff, and we'll get it. We will.
Absolutely. Look forward to it, Mitch. All right, Mitch, have a great night tonight. There's a lot of action out there. Like I said, we have 8 late games from baseball, and still an NBA out there, and in the NHL, no day games. I'm disappointed, Mitch. No more day games for a while here from NHL, but we got the actions ready to face off in about half an hour.
You know what? Look back a month ago and how much better it is now than it was then. I look forward to it. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I appreciate you. Have a great night.